Today we are going to work on solving fractions using two of the models we've been working on in class. The first model we're going to use as a set model, and for the second problem we're going to use a number line. The first problem is Jerry made a dozen chocolate chip cookies. Then he ate some. There are 3/4 of the dozen left. How many cookies did he eat? So in order to start with the set model, we are going to represent it visually. And for today, we're just going to use circles. So we had a dozen chocolate chip cookies, and there are 3/4 of the dozen left. So I need to make sure that I have 4 parts so I can represent 3 of our 4. So we're going to do our 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now it says that he ate, there are 3/4 of the dozen left. So what we're going to do is we're going to shade what we have left. So 3 out of every 4 is left. So that's 3 out of 4. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 4. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 4. So it says, how many cookies did he eat? Not how many are left. So these are the ones that are left. So it looks like these are how many that he ate. Jerry ate 3 of the 12 cookies, or 3 of 12. Well, we know 3/4. If he had 3/4 of the dozen left, 3 of 4, how many would be left? Or 1/4 of the cookies Jerry ate. For our second problem, we're going to solve this one using a number line. So the problem is Jana ran 2.5 miles today. Yesterday she ran 2/3 of what she ran today. How far did she run yesterday? So we're going to start by setting up our number line. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from 0 on this side, 1 here, and we're going to make this 2. I know she ran 2.5 miles, but we're going to account for that when we solve our problem. So if yesterday she ran 2/3 of what she ran today. So that 2/3, my denominator tells me I need to break this down, each section, in 2/3. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now we're going to account for what she ran. So she ran 2/3 of what she ran today. So for the first one, 0 to 1, for our whole number, 2, 2, she ran 2/3. So 1, 2. So there's 2 out of 3 for the first one. Bring that number down. And then she ran for the second one of the 2, because we have a whole number 2, 2/3. So we need to count for another 2/3. 1, 2. So we're going to bring that down. And then we still have that half on the end. So what is 1/2 of 2/3? 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we need to add one more 1/3. So now what we have to do is we have to add these together. So 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 1/3, that's 2, 4, 5/3, or 1, 3 plus the 2 left over, 1 and 2/3. So Jana ran 2.5 miles today. Yesterday she ran 2/3 of what she ran today. How far did she run yesterday? Jana ran 5/3 or 1 and 2/3 yesterday. Now, when solving these problems, there's going to be many misunderstandings that we might encounter when we're solving fractions, and the students might confuse some things. The first one that I noticed per my author was that students will be probably most likely misinterpret words like of in the story, because when it says she ran 2/3 of what she did and of the dozen left, and the best thing to do this is to approach the story problems differently. Focus their attention on the situation without the focus on the numbers. So he's eating cookies, she's running miles. The next misinterpretation that I thought might confuse students would be the answer would be wrong because it's smaller than the factors. You come up with this number here and for this number here, and yes, they know they're multiplying, so that might be what's confusing. And just to show them visually how they would solve it is a good way for this misconception. The only other misconception I really identified with too was the last one that I wanted to identify, was the struggle with estimation and approximate size of the answer. The only reason I said that one was because it was a little tricky when we do the number lines. We see this 2.5, which is why I pointed out in the video, because 2.5 and we only go to 2, that might make them struggle with their estimation of where they should land on the number line. But that was multiplying fractions.